The movie opens with a world where nothing is as it seems, a world built on secret deals, hidden missions, and powerful people moving pieces from the shadows. In The Last Thing He Wanted, we follow Elena McMahon, a fearless journalist who steps into a dangerous maze while chasing the truth. What begins as a simple investigation quickly pulls her into a high-stakes game involving government cover-ups, illegal arms deals, and deadly betrayals. Every answer leads to a new question, every clue brings her closer to danger, and every decision puts her life at risk. So sit back, relax, and let's dive deep into this intense and twisting story as we break down the entire movie from start to finish. Elena McMahon works as a reporter for the Atlantic Post, covering the civil war in El Salvador from the newspaper's Central America Bureau. While she is reporting in the middle of the conflict, the situation becomes too dangerous, and she is forced to run for her life. But during her time there, she notices something strange: guns and weapons are flooding into the country, and she can't stop wondering who is supplying them and who is making money from the war. A few years later, Elena returns to the US and tries to reopen the bureau so she can continue her investigation. But her editor explains that Congress is quietly pressuring the newspaper to stay away from Central and South American stories. Elena had been asking about the CIA planting mines around ports in Nicaragua to block their trade. The Contras, a rebel group in Nicaragua, were rumored to be getting secret support from the Reagan administration, even though Congress had banned it. Because these topics are too sensitive, the editor shuts down her request. Elena feels crushed because she had traced bullets used in El Salvador back to the US and she believes she was close to revealing something big. Instead of letting her continue that work, the editor moves her to cover Ronald Reagan's 1984 re-election campaign. Before leaving, Elena visits her father, Dick, and quickly realizes he is still involved in smuggling illegal goods. At the same time, she sees signs of his growing dementia, which makes her worry about him. While traveling with Reagan's campaign, Elena stops in Cincinnati and meets Helena Schultz, hoping it will help her get close to Helena's husband, Secretary of State George Shultz. She tries to question him about the mines in Nicaragua, but he shuts her down, and a staff member ends the conversation. Later, Secretary Shultz meets with Ambassador Treat Morrison, who has been watching Elena ever since she confronted Schultz. Surprisingly, Morrison supports letting Elena continue her reporting on Nicaragua, because her story could help justify U.S. involvement in the region. Back on her assignment, Elena travels to Houston where she meets General Gus Sharp, the same man who once confirmed that the bullets found in El Salvador came from U.S. stockpiles in Missouri. She shows him new surveillance photos of shipping containers, and Sharp immediately recognizes the weapons inside as leftover arms from different National Guard units, including the 20th Special Forces. He explains that these weapons are being moved to Florida, then to countries close to Nicaragua, and finally smuggled into Nicaragua itself. Realizing this could prove that the U.S. is secretly arming the Contra rebels, Elena takes her findings to her editor again. But just like before, he refuses to publish anything, leaving her frustrated and blocked. Soon after, Elena receives a call that her father, Dick, has been hospitalized. She hands her campaign assignment to her friend Alma and flies to Florida to take care of him. While recovering, Dick begs Elena to meet his business partner, Sedlow, because he has arranged an important deal. He explains that he is supposed to receive $1 million in traveler's checks when the delivery is completed, but half of that money needs to go straight to loan sharks. Whether the guns are delivered or not, the sharks still want their payment. Desperate and scared, Dick convinces Elena to take over the deal. Even though she hates the idea, Elena agrees. By stepping into Dick's role, she realizes she can investigate the weapons network from the inside. Sedlow gives her detailed instructions on how to deliver a large shipment of guns to Costa Rica. She is supposed to receive traveler's checks as payment. But when Elena reaches Costa Rica, the buyer, Jones, tries to cheat her. Instead of giving the full payment, he tries to replace part of it with cocaine. Things get worse when the pilot who flew her in suddenly leaves without her. Jones then drives her toward San Jose, but Elena manages to grab his gun and steal his vehicle, forcing her way out of the dangerous situation. From San Jose, Elena calls Alma and asks about the name Max Earson, a name her father told her to use if she ever got into trouble. Alma can't find anything on Max, but the name Bob Weir keeps showing up during her research. Both of them start to think that Bob Weir is connected to the CIA. Elena checks into a hotel, but Sedlow calls her shortly after, having tracked her location. Tired and furious, she threatens him and demands that he get her out safely. Elena knows the deal was supposed to be paid in traveler's checks, not cocaine, so the whole thing already feels wrong. The next morning, she finds a flight ticket slipped under her door. As she prepares to leave Costa Rica, she discovers that the passport she was given has a different name on it, Elise Meyer. She heads to the airport anyway, hoping to get out quietly, but just as she reaches the immigration counter, her cab driver runs inside carrying the bag she accidentally left in his taxi. Inside the bag are the drugs and a gun, both linked to her father. Since the bag has her father's middle name on it, the cab driver gets arrested while Elena narrowly escapes. She ends up in Antigua, where she receives heartbreaking news: her father has died. She tries to enter the American embassy to get a real passport, but because it's the 4th of July, nobody is available to help her. Feeling stuck and defeated, she returns to her hotel, and that's when Ambassador Treat Morrison shows up. He hides his true intentions, but he knows that with a fake passport, Elena has no way home. She admits she arrived on a ghost plane and never got paid. She explains she only stayed to finish the story and because of her father. Later that night, after trading words and testing each other's intentions, Elena ends up sleeping with Morrison. During their conversation, she opens up about her father, about helping him in Central America, and about how she feels disconnected from her daughter, Kat, who now stays at a boarding school. Elena fears that if she loses her work, she'll lose the only thing she has left. She also admits she once thought Morrison might be the person Washington sent to kill her. The next day, Elena is relaxing by the pool when Jones suddenly appears. Gunmen attack, and Jones rescues her, taking her to safety. He reveals that the deal offered to her father was fake, it was a setup meant to draw Dick out. Elena showing up instead was never part of the plan, and now the people behind the operation are trying to figure out how to close the file on her. Elena calls Alma, and during their conversation she realizes something important: Jones is actually part of French intelligence. Alma tells her that a French operative had been spotted in the area, and that the attack at the hotel was originally planned to kill Dick, not Elena. Feeling trapped, Elena calls Morrison again, who then connects her with someone named Paul. Elena is taken to stay with Paul Schuster, a quiet and helpful man who lets her hide out at his house while Morrison works on a plan to bring her home. During this time, she hides all of her notes, documents, and evidence throughout Paul's place, hoping they will stay safe. One night, she sees a mysterious man meeting with Paul, and she immediately recognizes him as Max Earson, her father's old business partner. She also suspects that Max is actually Bob Weir, the undercover CIA agent known for tying loose ends, which makes Elena even more uneasy. After several days at Paul's house, Morrison contacts her with a plan to finally get her back to the United States, where she can publish the truth about the illegal arms deals. But before anything can happen, a shooter suddenly arrives at Paul's home. The attacker kills Paul and his staff, then calls out for Elena. When she turns around, she sees that the shooter is Morrison himself. In a shocking twist, Morrison shoots her, ending her investigation forever. Later, Jones arrives and discovers all the materials Elena hid in Paul's house. He secretly takes everything with him. Morrison then gives official testimony claiming he shot Elena in self-defense. Meanwhile, Jones reports back to French intelligence, explaining that he had been trying to protect Elena from the very beginning. In the end, Elena's friend Alma gathers all of Elena's notes and evidence and uses them to finally publish the truth about the Iran-Contra affair, revealing that the U.S. government was secretly selling weapons to Iran and using the money to fund the Contra rebels, even though Congress had made it illegal. And that brings us to the end of this powerful and tragic journey. Elena fought for the truth with everything she had, and even though the system tried to silence her, her work lived on through the people who believed in her. The story of the hidden arms trade and the political cover-up finally came to light because of her courage. If you enjoyed this full recap and want more breakdowns like this, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Tell me in the comments which movie you want next, and I'll make it happen. Thank you so much for watching, stay safe, and I'll see you in the next video.
Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to our channel. Thanks for watching.